So Jellyfish as an agency is fully integrated with DoubleClick for Search. We are now using that as a management portal to bring in all of our Google AdWords accounts and our Yahoo Bing network accounts and manage them in the one place, which is great. It's giving us insights that maybe we had before but weren't able to manage just in one interface. One of the key areas with that is definitely the conversion tracking. So with Google AdWords, historically, we've always used conversion tracking, but that can basically be just a bit of code that says, here is one conversion. Someone's clicked on a keyword on the ad, goes through and then hits a page where that conversion code lies. And that can tell you if someone has got to a sale page or filled out a contact form, but the detail's very limited to just that number one. What the floodlight pixel does in DoubleClick is give you a lot more detail about what the conversion actually is. So it could, take in details like how much revenue that conversion generates, the actual product type it is. So the great example we're using is for a lot of our publishing clients, say National Geographic, they have different offers that they have. So it'd be, say, a trial offer, an annual offer, and a gift. Now, before, if someone got to the confirmation page and had bought one of those, our tracking is just going to say, there's one. Whereas now it will detail, here are the trials, here are the gifts, and here are the annuals, which then feeds back into DoubleClick. So when we're looking in the interface, we can see the keyword and how many of each product type it has delivered, which means we can then alter our ad copies and our landing page to play to that information. If we know a keyword generates way more annuals than it does trials, we can build the whole profile around that. Another great feature of DoubleClick is bringing in the Google Analytics data. Now again, this is something that has always been available to us in AdWords, but with DoubleClick it is much more seamless and much more readily available. And the way we're using it is to bring in like an added level of optimization tools. So an example would be we used to look at keywords and say the main features we'd want to know are what are the click-through rate and what are the conversion rate of that keyword to assess how it's performing. But by bringing the analytics into DoubleClick, we can easily apply in columns and on the graph the bounce rate of the keyword, the average page per visit so that keyword generates, and even the time on site. So it gives us that extra level of saying, yes, this keyword might be giving us a good or bad conversion rate, but now we can also look at what is the actual interaction rate when people come through that keyword. Are people coming through and just leaving the site straight away, or are they coming through and fully interacting it, as well as converting at the end of the day as well? So having Bing and Google in one interface is really useful and saves us a lot of time and effort. We've had portals before that brought them both in, but it's always been a bit clunky. And I suppose the other thing is, on a day-to-day basis, it's very easy to get wrapped up in whichever account is bringing you the most, clicks and conversions and which you're working on the most. So it can often be, I'm in AdWords all the time, I'm working on that for hours and then forget to go into Bing and do the same things, but really we want the accounts to be in line. So what this interface does is make sure, one, from a kind of housekeeping point of view, that all the changes you're making in Google, you're then taking over into the Bing network as well. But also it means you can actually easily compare the performance of two. So you can apply filters in DoubleClick for a keyword, an ad group name, a campaign name, whatever it is. And what I find quite useful is to bring the same keyword from both accounts next to each other in rows and just look right there on one screen how that keyword performs in Google versus how it performs in Bing, what the click-through rate is, the conversion rate, what ad we're running, where it's going, and then make a judgment of, okay, can we get more out of the one in Bing or AdWords, and also should we have the same ads going to both of them? Should they be treated differently? It's much easier than having to dual screen the whole time between the two interfaces. The biggest change with DoubleClick in terms of testing has definitely got to be around the landing pages. And again, this is a great advancement for us. Really, with just AdWords, we had two choices. If we wanted to test two different landing pages against each other, we could run identical ads, both going to separate pages, but the ad copy being the same to avoid impacting on the test. Or we could run a split test optimization through Google Analytics where it chooses to split the traffic between both. The problem with those is, on the one hand, with the AdWords, you're then having to run the exact same ad. With Analytics, it's going to weight the traffic very quickly to the one that it deems is winning this experiment. So what DoubleClick allows us to do is set the landing page test at keyword level and just split the traffic down the middle 50-50. And because it's at keyword level, we can still run 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ads and keep all those ad copy tests going, because it's only going to split the traffic once the ad has already been decided, and it's just going to all traffic 50-50. Plus, it doesn't start weighting it. If you want to just leave it going at 50-50 and make that own decision after a time, you can. You don't have to worry that a few days in, it's suddenly going to stop sending traffic to one page and weight it all to the other. Optimization in DoubleClick has really changed. bid strategies are the main element of DoubleClick that I suppose as an agency we're really excited about. But with AdWords, historically, we used to use the CPA optimization sometimes, but it was very limiting, and we found that actual personal management was much better. What DoubleClick allows us to do is take in so much more data and optimize it to it so much better. So for example, because the floodlight tags pick up things like revenue of a product, different product types, product ID and things like that, it's not just a case of creating bid strategies around get me more conversions. You can create a bid strategy that says get me more return on ad spend, or get me into a keyword position where I know I perform better. And the great thing with that is you can combine them all. So you can create complex bid strategies to say, right, take this keyword, make sure it is achieving a conversion at this price, but also make sure we're not losing return on ad spend for the client. And we'd also like to stay in position 1 to 3 because it's important for us to have that brand awareness. And these bid strategies are using so much data to make sure it's getting rid of wasted impressions, wasted clicks, and really sticking to our core KPIs, which is excellent. Yeah, overall, DoubleClick has really changed the way we're looking at bid management for both AdWords and Bing. I personally have used the AdWords interface for around 6 years now, and I always kind of thought, I don't like change, and I've never really adopted any other interface apart from AdWords. So this is the first time I've actually found myself actively bid managing and using another interface than AdWords itself. So I'm sold on it.